The first of the four great truths that Buddha gave to the world was that life is suffering. That is what he taught. And so many great religious teachers have grappled with this truth in order to do away with suffering and to show us a way out from this dilemma. Life is suffering every day, every week, every month, throughout our lives. We try to do away with suffering. The most important cause of our suffering can be seen in the deep desire that we have to cling to things of the past. In short, we do not want to change at all. Most of us who are very, very keen on changing our neighbors, our spouses, our brothers, our sisters, everybody except ourselves. It, it, it takes a great deal of pain for us to change, and that is why we do not want to change. The pain involved is too much, and the suffering involved is too much. To change is to undergo pain. And yet, it is in this pain that we undergo that we can transform ourselves, that we can evolve from being mere humans to being divine. Let us think of this. Let us think again uh, on another angle. What is it that keeps us in pain, and why do we want to remain there? Simply because we have made of our past opinions and judgments and evaluations and the things we have learned and things we have understood, we have made of another self of that. We have made as if to say a map by which we try to conquer the world, to walk in this world according to the map. But the world is changing. Everything around us is changing. There is nothing in this world that is not changing. Even we are changing. And yet we apply the standards of the past to an ever changing world. And here comes the mismatch. Rather than be wise and say, I must change, or we must change to the world that we see around, and change our maps and change the lines of the maps that we have drawn for ourselves, and say, now I can change it, get over it, and carry on, having changed myself to accept a changing world. Take the baby who is born in the womb of the mother. Right in the beginning, the baby is one with the mother, and as it comes on the day of his birth, the baby is separated and becomes a different person, and yet it longs to be one. It keeps on the illusion of being one till it learns by the age of 2 or 3 that it is separate from the mom, that the mom has her own ways of life and the baby has his own way of life. The baby has his own body, the mom has his own body. It now sees itself as separate and feels the pangs of separation. And it longs to be one again. One again. And it searches for love outside the mother, and it finds friends. One friend to whom it will cling, and another friend to whom it will cling, and another friend, and then it will divide the friend, the good and the bad, the friends that give it pain, and the friends who adapt themselves to. Those who adapt themselves to the baby's whims and fancies are good friends. Those who do not change and want the baby to adapt are bad friends, and it carries on. Sometimes days go, months go, all the friends are gone, and the baby is alone and grows up into a teenager and to an adult to learn and to again to thirst once more for the one with whom the baby, the child, or the person can be one forever. Then it comes to the sexual time of its growth, and once again dream very, very strongly, I must be one with somebody in this world, and it searches for a lover and another lover and another lover, and every time finds that its dreams are shattered. There is a certain type of oneness that in which mutually they are satisfied, mutually they get into each other's arms and bodies and each other's emotions. But then comes again It's not all there. It's not all there. The dream to be one is very, very strong. The baby longs to be one because it started life as one in his mother's womb. So also the whole of humanity. We began in the Garden of Eden, one with God, totally one. And then we separated. God became separate from us, we became. And yet, that dream of being one forever with somebody has never been lost. The greatest thing, thirst that we have is to love someone to our fullest extent of our being and to be loved in return. Someone whom I can love forever. How many lives have been destroyed? How many feelings have been hurt? How many dreams have been shattered because we just can't find that one? In actuality, my dear friends, that one that we long for is our own divinity, the divinity that God has called us to. We must return to God. We must return to the Father. We must return to the source of our life, to the source of our being. And all that we can do to return back is to change ourselves, to drop all that is not of ourselves. Unless a grain of wheat falls to the ground and drops the self that it has created, then only it can become another self. It can evolve into a fruit giving tree. Unless you carry the cross and follow me, you have to carry the cross of change, the cross that tells us to deny ourselves, the self that we have created, the self that we have made, the self that constantly dogs our path. We have to drop that self brutally. We just have to drop it. It is in dropping that self that we become a new self. And again we drop that self and it becomes a new self. It is a long process of death and life, death and life, death and life. It is a process of mm, what I call crucifixions and resurrections, constantly going on with an unending. The end is finally when we can tell ourselves, here I am one with all things, here I am one with everybody, here I am one with God. That is the point we all have to reach. Till that time, there will be suffering. Till that time, there will be difficulties. Till that time, there will be obstacles. Let us learn this simple fact. We don't have to cling to anything. Our opinions are not us. Our environment in which we were brought up is not us. Our past is not us. Our judgments are not us. Just step off these things and embrace the changing world. Embrace your changing spouse. Embrace your changing life and become one. It is in this, therefore, that we have to return to the past. And today's, I want to tell you this too, that the only way to do this is what Jesus tells us. I am the bread that came down from heaven. He changed. He changed. He changed himself not only from being a divine person, he became a human person. He became a human being in all things. In all things. He became a human being. He suffered. He became the lowest, most humble. And not only that, so that he could become like us. And not only that, so that he could transform himself into a piece of bread. The bread that has no significance at all now becomes part of us, so that we can become part of him. God has shown us the way. The only way is to become the other. The only way is to lose yourself and become the other. God became man. He became totally the other, so that the other, you and I, could become totally like him. Thank you very much for listening to this video. This is the first of them. I hope to put down these videos once a week.